When your ex walked out the door, she was betting against you. Think about this for a moment. She didn't just leave. She made a calculated decision. She looked at you. Maybe you were tired because you were working 50 to 60 plus hours a week to provide. Maybe you had packed on a few more pounds, a little out of shape. Carrying the weight of the family, managing your relationship with her, dealing with her drama. And she looked at you and she saw a depreciating asset. So she decides to leave. She thought she was selling at the top of the market. She looked in the mirror and she saw her stock and thought her value would continue to rise. She bought into the hype, what she sees on social media all day long from delusional women. She thought she could trade you in for a younger, newer, richer, more exciting model. But boy, did she get the math wrong. Because in reality, the market has flipped in your favor. While she is crashing against the wall, the reality of the dating market, your value is increasing. It's a bull market that as each day passes, she has less and less access to. In this message, we're talking about SMV, sexual market value, hers and yours. We're talking about biology and the cold hard truth of dating post-divorce, both for you and for her. If you're in your 30s watching this or even in your 20s, stay with me because this might be your future you're looking at. Don't make the same mistakes that we older men made. If you're a divorced guy rebuilding your life post-divorce, hit like so other guys who need to see this message will see it as well. It really does help with the algorithm. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you can join the email list as well. It's in the description. By the end of this video, you're going to truly understand. If you're a guy that's in his late 30s, 40s, even 50s, you are the prize. And why her regret is mathematically inevitable. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about your first year post-divorce. And if you're currently separated, you're in the midst of going through a divorce, you might be thinking to yourself, man, is there going to be life for me after my divorce? Stick with me, because there is. But let's talk about your first year post-divorce. This is usually the hardest part for men, and what seemingly is the easiest for women. Why is that? It's because the market reacts instantly to liquidity. Suddenly she's single. She gets on the dating apps. They're lighting up. She's getting messages all day long. Simps are buying her drinks. They're taking her out to dinner. Unfortunately, there's a lot of these guys out there. Thirsty men who will do anything and everything for their attention. And then there's her girlfriends who have been telling her she's a queen and she finally got rid of the dead weight. You. She feels fantastic. She's euphoric because she is riding off into the sunset to start her new fantastic life. But reality is coming. Then there's you. You're sitting in an empty apartment, an empty house, and you feel discarded. You feel like you have no value. Maybe you're starting over on an air mattress, like I did. You feel invisible, like you have no worth. Nothing could be further from the truth. This is where a lot of guys break and they get depressed because they see her winning, or at least seemingly. And they think to themselves, it's over for me. I don't have a future post-divorce. She's experiencing high volume, low quality. Yeah, she's getting a lot of attention, but attention does not equal intention. She's getting attention from men who will gladly sleep with her, but they are not going to commit to her long term. She's mistaking, like a lot of women, sexual attention for relationship value. She thinks because a sexy, good-looking bad boy, a Chad, will sleep with her, he'll also commit to her. He won't. He never will. And when she comes to that hard realization, that's going to hit hard. That is when the line on the graph, her market value, starts to curve down. There's a biological reality in play here. Society may try and hide it. These women delusionally may not want to accept it, but it's a reality. Women do age like milk. Men do age like fine wine, but only if you have done the work. I don't make the rules. Biology does. As she gets into her late 30s, her 40s, or 50s, her sexual market value is dropping daily. The good men that she thinks she deserves, the top tier men, they're looking at women who are 10, 15, even 20 years younger than them. Why would they want her when they can get a younger, more energetic version who is more interested in sex and has less emotional and mental baggage in tow? Then there's you. Your value is tied to your resources. It's tied to your stability. It's tied to your status. Think about when you were 25. You were broke. You didn't have a clue. You were trying to establish yourself. You were unsure of yourself. You didn't have the confidence that you carry with you today. You were building day by day, steady, year after year. Where are you now? You have a career. You have tremendous life experience. You've taken care of yourself physically. You've made sure your finances are in order. To a 35-year-old woman looking for a good man, a man who is stable, a man who has his act together, you are the prize. You're a unicorn in this dating market. You need to hear this, brother. The older you get, the more valuable your stability becomes, especially if you've taken care of yourself in all of these areas. The reality is, and this is not being hateful or hurtful, the older she gets, the more invisible she becomes. The lines have crossed, and they're in your favor. You just haven't realized this because maybe you're still looking at yourself through her eyes. So here's the thing. The flip in the market doesn't happen automatically. There is a catch. This market flip only happens if you have done the work. If you're sitting on the couch, eating pizza, not taking care of yourself physically, not getting your act together, crying about your ex, you confirm what she already thinks about you. You prove her right. But if you take that pain and you turn it into the fuel, the motivation, your life changes. If you drop 20 pounds, you get back in the gym, you get back to a physically strong man. You properly process and heal what you've gone through so you're mentally and emotionally strong. You get your finances in order. If you're in debt, you start to pay it down. You focus on crafting your new ideal life now. Update your wardrobe. Focus on your business. Focus on what your purpose is. Do those things, brother, and you become a rare commodity. Do you want to know what scares your ex-wife more than anything? It's not the arguments. It's not the court battles. It's seeing you happy and at peace. It's seeing you physically fit. It's seeing you having your finances in order. It's seeing you with a younger, fitter, kinder woman who treats you with respect. You become that man and it destroys her narrative of you. So I'm sharing a few principles with you here, but if you want the full framework of how I went from broken to rebuilt, it's in the Resilient Man Manifesto. I created this as a roadmap for guys like you. You can grab it in the description. Remember, your ex needs you to be the villain in her story. That way she can be the victim. When you become the prize, when you increase your market value through your hard work, you shatter her reality. You need to stop chasing. You need to stop trying to convince her, or any other woman for that matter, of your value. High assets don't beg people to buy them. They just sit there, accruing value, waiting for the right investor. So let's get into some practical tips you can use. How do you date in this new market? You date with leverage. First and foremost, you're the gatekeeper, man. You are the gatekeeper of commitment. The truth is, women control access to the bedroom. Men control access to a relationship. You control access to any commitment. Commitment is what women want, and you do not want to give that away cheaply. Number 2, vet. Vet ruthlessly. Don't settle for a woman who brings chaos, drama, entitlement. You already did that in your marriage. Is that what you want again? You paid that price, as many of us did. Never again. And number 3, indifference. Indifference is your superpower. When you know that you can replace her, and you will replace her if you need to, that, my friend, is your strength. When you know you're the prize, you don't tolerate disrespect. And I'm not talking about faking this. I'm talking about truly knowing your value. Truly being willing to walk away from her if she disrespects you or disrupts your peace. Brother, look at this graph again. The red line crashing down, that's her timeline. That represents the panic that sets in when the attention starts to dry up, the dates start to dry up, even the simps aren't interested anymore. And the reality of a lonely future sets in. The green line shooting up, that's you, my friend. That is your potential, but you have to do the work. There's nothing wrong with having a woman in your life if you want one. You just need to do the work, vet ruthlessly, and then hold your standards and boundaries, because you will not accept anything less. You know your worth, you know your value, and your peace will not be disrupted. Your ex made a bet against you. She made a calculated decision to leave, to divorce. She essentially sold her stock in you right as it was rising. Let her live with that bad investment. Let her live with her bad decisions. That's not your problem. You don't need to rub it in. You don't need to tell her. You need to live it by going on to craft your new ideal life now post-divorce. If this message is resonating with you, brother, hit like. And if you want to support the channel directly, you can do it through Super Thanks. It really does help support the channel. So get to work. Get moving with building yourself. The market has flipped in your favor. If this message has hit home with you, subscribe to the channel, share it with another guy that needs to hear this message. Resilient Man channel is about men advocating for men. If we don't advocate for each other, who else will? Drop a comment, let me hear your thoughts on this message. These messages will encourage you as well. Know your worth, protect your peace.